What's up YouTube, Matt with Matt Builds coming at you with another video. Today we're going to be installing the Anytime locker from ExperiMental Designs on my 2019 Toyota Tacoma. This fits 2016 to 2023 Tacomas with the factory locking rear differential. Now if I'm not mistaken, those are the TRD Pros, the TRD Off-Roads, and the SR5 Trail Editions. But y'all go check them out. The website's going to be linked in the description below. And this will allow you to lock your rear differential anytime, 2-wheel drive, 4 high and 4 low. So y'all check them out, links in the description below to their website, and we're going to get started at it. All right, so this is what we're going to be installing today. Everything is pretty much plug and play. We're going to just be unplugging the plugs going into the 4-wheel drive module and plugging these in line. This wire we're going to run across the bottom of the dash over to the driver's side and using this T-tap to install. And then we're going to have 2 wires right here that are optional to hook up. Those 2 wires will run to this LED indicator light right here. If I can turn it around. Those are going to run to that LED indicator light right there. You don't have to install this. I may or may not install it. I may install it just for the video and show you guys how everything is working. But yeah, it's pretty simple install. Everything looks really good. So let's get underneath the dash and get going. I want to show you guys what tools I'm going to be using in this video. I'm going to be using a 10mm wrench or whatever size you need to take your battery terminals loose. I used an 8mm and a 10mm socket with an extension. The 8mm can be substituted for a Phillips screwdriver to take the to take the glove compartment out. But I used a 8mm socket for that, and then a 10mm socket to take the airbag bolts loose. A couple different trim tools, whatever you need to pop those loose. I just used some trim tools to do that. And then a pair of crimpers, a pair of strippers, and some snips to snip the zip ties, and some tape. These will be varied upon how you're going to go about hooking up your LED wire and that sort of thing. But yeah, that's pretty much it. All right, you guys, first thing we want to do, disconnect the battery. All right, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove this trim piece here and this trim piece here. So get your trim piece tool, kind of pry up and pop it up in there to get that popped loose. And then once you get that broke free, there we go. Pulls right out of the rubber. The same thing goes with this piece right here. It's just this front face piece here. There you go. And those 2 are removed. Now we're going to be removing the airbag bolts. It's this bolt, and this bolt right here. We're going to remove those 3 bolts, and then we'll go on to the next step. Alright, so now we're going to remove this airbag off the bottom down here. We have a few snaps that's holding it in from the top. See if I can get those out. Alright, there's one. I'm going to run my fingers along here. There's another one there. There's another one there. Now once you remove that, you shouldn't have to unplug anything. You can just kind of let that rest right there. Then we're going to move up to the glove box and remove it. Now we're going to remove the glove box. You're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 screws. Now these screws are Phillips head, but they also have a hex head on them, and that's an 8mm. I'm just going to be using an 8mm socket and ratchet just to keep things simple. You can use a Phillips head if you want to also. Now we're going to just unsnap this glove box. Now I do, if you watch my radio video, I do have my USB-C ran through into the glove box. But everything pretty much should just snap loose. There you go. Now I'm not going to pull mine too hard because I do have that wire going in there, like I said. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Now we'll plug in the harness. So here's your four-wheel drive module. This is what we're looking at right here. We're going to just pinch that edge right there and unplug that one. Pinch that edge and unplug that one. Now I'm going to pull this wire kind of down and back through just to give me some more room here. But we're going to plug the module that was provided from Anytime Locker, the Anytime Locker module from ExperiMental Designs. We're going to unplug that or plug that in, and everything's pretty much just going to plug in line, and then we'll tuck up some of these wires and I'll be back with you. So I have everything hooked up. So basically this wire right here, this wire harness here, and this wire harness right here were the two that were plugged into the four-wheel drive module, which is located right here. The supplied harness then plugs in here and here. And I've got everything tied up. The four-wheel drive, the new Anytime Locker module is tied off back here. My blue and black wire I have ran up top. I'll show you where I got that, but that's the indicator light. I got that wired up also. And then the other wire is run over to the driver's side, which is the final wire. It is ran across underneath and tied up underneath the dashboard, and it runs over to the driver's side. I'll move over there and show you that. But we're pretty much done over here, so I'm going to put everything back together. Just reverse the order that I took it apart in, and then I'll go over to the driver's side and show you where I have that hooked up, and we'll be back with you. One thing I do want to mention in putting this airbag back in is right here. You're going to want to kind of kick it up and over at an angle, and there is a little tab that has to go in that hole. Let's see if I can get it in there. There we go. So you can see down there that that tab has to go in that hole down there. But you might want to do that and kind of rock it up into place before you start putting everything back into place with it and putting all your snaps in. I also want to mention, when you pop these trim pieces off, those little red tabs may come off and stay stuck inside the holes here. So make sure that whenever you're putting everything back together that those little red tabs did come off and with the trim piece, and if they didn't, then just pop them outside of the hole and pop them back on these tabs here. Alright, so now we're on the driver's side. Basically that white wire running across, I ran it underneath. You can kind of see it right there underneath the edge of the carpet. And it is tied up under the dash. And I have some more wires up underneath there for the radio and everything, so I just kind of tied all those together. And then right over here, we're going to go to this plug. If I can get the camera in there to show you. Right here, it's IA5 is the plug. We're going to tap in, or we tapped into the gray wire right here, which is in pin slot 19. Should be the 5th wire from the right. But we have put that T-tap on there, on that gray wire, and then plug that white wire into it. It keeps wanting to unfocus here. But that's pretty much it. Once you get that T-tapped on, now you do want to make sure that when you put that T-tap right here on there, you want to make sure that thing is seated really good on that wire. And then just plug your wire back, your white wire back into it, and then plug that back into place. And then I have all the wires tied up and ran up under the dash. And that's pretty much it. Pretty simple, guys. Alright, I just wanted to kind of show how I did the LED indicator light. So I basically just ran the wires up the pillar on that side, through the headliner, and then just crimped them together with the 2 wires that came on the LED provided. The LED is down inside of there. And that was a whole other job in itself. I had to kind of Dremel everything out and drill the hole and everything, but basically it's just 2 wires, just crimping to the black and the blue wire. Once you get done with all that, we're going to hook the battery back up, and that's it. Alright, you guys, we're going to try this thing out here. We're on old dirt road. We're in 2-wheel drive. Now, I put my LED indicator up here right next to my rear differential lock. You can mount that wherever you want to, but I wanted it up here just to kind of let me know when it's on and off.
Now you're going to have to push and hold the rear diff lock button for 3 seconds, and that's a safety feature just to keep you from accidentally locking this thing while you're running 60 mile an hour down the road. So we're going to push and hold this for 3 seconds. Now the LED indicator light may or may not come on immediately. The first thing that's going to happen is it's going to turn the traction control off, and then this LED indicator will light up whenever the rear diff is locked. So we're going to push and hold. All right, you got a few clicks down there. Traction control is off. All right, so you may have to turn, kind of roll and turn a little bit. There it goes. Rear diff is locked now. So you may have to move, turn a little bit, roll a little bit to get that rear differential to lock. You just really need to get all those gears synchronized in there before it locks it in place. All right, we're in 4 high. She's flashing at me. Now, anytime you put these in 4-wheel drive, you may have to move just a little bit to get them to kind of lock into place. So there we go. She's not flashing anymore. 4-wheel drive is locked in. So we're gonna come back up here. We're gonna lock this rear differential. All right, it clicked underneath the dash. Traction control is turned off. And again, you may have to move a little bit to get it to lock in. But there she is. That indicator light lets you know that that rear diff is locked. And now we are in 4 high with a locked rear differential. All right, we're going to go ahead and go through 4 low also. It's kind of irrelevant, but so 4 low. And she locked right in right now. Again, it may or may not light up immediately, but it lights up to let you know your rear diff is locked. So we're in 4 low now. Everything is good.
All right, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed that video. If y'all want to see more content like this, let me know in the comments. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And y'all go check them out. It's ExperiMental Designs, the Anytime Locker. Links in the description below. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see y'all on the next one.